you'll tell them to do it and they'll be able to do it, but it's something an awful lot of people, once you tell them to do it, they start trying to do it, and then once you're trying to do it, you're just losing the whole point of it, right? Because it's something that just happens naturally. One of the reasons why we have the steps that we do and why I separate the knees and then the hips and extend the hip and then the knees, if you'll think about it, look at my knees, okay? Bend the knees, bend the hip, okay? Shins are vertical, right? In order to stay on my heels and not fall down, in order to satisfy those two criteria, keep the weight on the heels and don't fall, I almost, and assuming that I'm in the correct position here, assuming that my shins are near vertical, and I want to come up to here, if I don't put the knees forward, I'm going to fall backwards, right? Or I can lean forward, and I'm going to be on my toes. But if I want to stand up without falling down and stay on my heels, I almost have to let the knees, my knees just came forward, right? But, I mean, it did, right? Right here, I extend the knees from the floor, we haven't done that yet. In order to come up and be on my heels, the knees have to come forward. They have to. You can't make them not come forward if you satisfy the criteria of staying on your heels and not falling down, okay? So they will come forward. So don't worry about it because they're going to. And by using these steps and this particular progression, you're going to assure that you've had an athlete push his knees forward from the hips to the thigh, or from the knees to the thigh, 100 times before he ever even hears the word double knee bend, or hopefully he'll never hear it, but it's going to happen. You don't have to teach it. You just have to make sure that they do everything else right, and then it's simply a byproduct. What I want to do now is it seems like everybody's doing a pretty good job. Keep in mind now that in order to make things happen right, you have to be detail-minded, okay? You have to be detail-minded. You cannot just allow people to do it wrong, okay, and expect everything else to happen right. One of the ways, or the things about my teaching style is I teach the bare minimum of things, right? And I say the bare minimum of things to athletes. But there's an awful lot that I assume if you're doing correctly, the few things that we are teaching, the other things will happen, okay? So for instance, if you don't make the shins vertical, okay? If you don't go knees, then hips, hips, then knees, the double knee bone won't happen. If you're just going like this, it's not going to happen. You have to actually do it correctly. Knees, then hips, hips, then knees. Then you're double knee bending every single time. You're teaching it, you're developing a neural pathway, whatever. You're creating good habits. So I want you to kind of go back. We can start